Today, I'm going to show you how to literally guarantee success to any goal that you set your sights on. Check this out. Welcome to the Power of Quiet, showing you step by step how to achieve any goal that you set your mind to. Now, if you really want to become a master at manifesting whatever you want in life, then make sure to subscribe and welcome aboard. Now, today, I want to give you some tough love. I want to just tell it like it is, because if you're finding it difficult to achieve your goals, if you're not getting them, no matter how much you're working at them, there's one thing that I guarantee is off, that if you correct this one thing, it's going to make it 100 times easier for you. And if you don't correct this one thing, it's almost guaranteed you're going to fail. You're never going to succeed. And this one thing is a simple decision that imperturbability is more important than getting that goal. That's it. And what I mean by imperturbability, it's being in the place where you're not bothered whether you get the goal or not. Now, to the mind, it wants to reject this. It's like, that's nonsense. That's being wishy-washy. That's just rolling over, giving up. But that's not the case. Being imperturbable is a place of extreme strength. And I'll show you in a moment. But this is a place that Eckhart Tolle is talking about when he says, my secret is I don't mind what happens. You see, Eckhart Tolle, what he's saying is he doesn't mind if he's successful or if he's a failure. He doesn't mind if he's rich or poor, if he's healthy or sick. Whatever is in the moment is perfect exactly as it is. And he loves this moment exactly as it is. This is what he's been talking about all these years. And this is the exact same approach that Lester Levenson gave us to go all the way, to free ourselves from the bondage of our ego. Now, here's the thing. A lot of us, we've been working on this, and we have heard this ideal of being imperturbable. And we try to practice it. Like some of us, we've said to ourselves 1,000 times, I want imperturbability more than I want anything else. But we're doing it like we're reading a script, like we're supposed to say it. And really, we're kidding ourselves. We're saying it, but in our heart of hearts, we really don't want imperturbability. We want to go more. But we're not acknowledging it. We're just pretending, oh yes, I want imperturbability. But until we acknowledge the fact that we don't, we're not going to get that goal. Now, I want to give you an example, because just recently I was working with somebody on this point. And this is a really good example, because sometimes we have a goal that is very important to us, that is very critical. It might be like a health goal, or it might be, a financial goal. And we really want to achieve this goal because we got a real problem in our life financially. We're really struggling, or we're really under, and we want to turn that around. We really need to turn that around. And the more that is important to us like that, we're not imperturbable. So that's the same thing that came up in this situation. You see, a couple of days ago, somebody messaged me, and this is someone who's been to a number of classes. He's been releasing for a long time. And he said, I need your help. I just got some really bad news, from a doctor. And I got a serious problem health-wise going on. Can you help me? And so I said, yeah, sure. And when we got together, we started working, started releasing. There's a lot of fear, a lot of other feelings that were just right immediately at the surface, and we started letting them go. And as he started getting lighter and lighter, I asked, well, look, can you let go of wanting to change what happened? Can you be okay with where you are right now? And his answer was no. And I said, fair enough. That's good. Because we could start from there. Now we can start to discriminate. Because look at what you're saying when you say no. I can't be okay with where I'm at right now. Can you see that right now you are hating the situation that you're in? And right now, you're hating your body. You're hating that illness that's in your body. And he looked at it and said, yeah, you're right. I really hate what's going on. But this hate is so gripping. I don't know if I can let it go. Well, okay, look, just slow down a second. You're hating it. Now, by hating it, is that changing what happened? Is that changing the situation by hating what it is? No. And look at what you're doing when you're hating it, especially when you're hating your body. You're just directing a bunch of negativity towards it. Is that going to fix your body or do anything good to your body, dumping all that negativity into it? No. And how does it feel when you're hating your body and you're hating the situation and hating yourself for being in the situation now? That doesn't feel good at all. Now who's doing all of that? Oh, I am. All right, so now what do you decide? You see, you've been hating it and refusing to just be okay with it, to love it. Now, which would feel better? Would it feel better to continue going on hating it or be peaceful and love yourself? Well, to be peaceful and loving, that feels much better. Okay, so now we can move in a direction. So we started to release on that. Now, he really let go of a lot and, really got bigger than his ego. So clear now that now we could focus on his goal. So what do you really want to accomplish here? Well, to have a healthy body. All right, so now that we're going to start working on this goal, let me point out to you that you must want imperturbability more than you want that health. Now the objection came up again. Well, I'm not imperturbable. I can't be imperturbable. I didn't ask you to be imperturbable right now, but to want imperturbability more than that goal. See, it's a different thing, right? See, we have a destination to be imperturbable. Now, I'm not asking you to be there right now because there's a lot that's in the way. There's more fear, right? There's more negative feelings to let go of. And you can let that go. See, every video on this channel shows you how to prove to yourself that you can let these negative feelings go. The fear, the guilt, the anger, all that negativity. You can let it go. And that's knocking out a barrier to reach that goal of imperturbability. So sometimes, we make it like, I got to do it right now. But it's a journey. You got to take those steps in order to get there. All right? So once we set that ideal in place to be imperturbable, then it really sets a positive direction. And by choosing to be imperturbable, it makes the process of working on your goal so much easier. Because instead of being a struggle, okay, I got to get the goal, I got to get the goal, I got to get the goal. When you're going for imperturbability, it's like a different direction. It's like doing it for the goodness of it, right? I'm working on this goal so I can knock out the negativity, so I can be freer, so I can be more loving, so I can be more peaceful. That's a whole different thing than I gotta get this goal. And that difference is a difference between a positive approach and a negative approach. See, a lot of us were stuck in the negative approach. I gotta get that goal. And we know that we're not imperturbable because we're frustrated, because we've been working on a goal and not getting it. And that's slapping ourselves in the face saying, hey, I'm not imperturbable. Duh. But when we choose, I want imperturbability, then the goal is secondary. Then we're not so bothered. And we're always looking in that upward direction to the love, to the peace. And it's a much easier journey. And it is a guaranteed success that you're going to get the secondary objective, the goal itself. You just do it for the love, you do it for the peace, you do it for the imperturbability, and then just watch what happens. Watch what comes along with that. All right? So let's do a little bit of work on this. Think about a goal that you have that is really important to you. Maybe you have a money situation that's pretty serious and you got to turn that around. And maybe you've been working on a goal to have more abundance in your life, have a better job, have more income. All right? So think about a goal, something that is very meaningful, very important to you. Now, ask yourself, is that goal more important than me being imperturbable, being not bothered? Now, answer truthfully. And truthfully, your answer might be no, that goal is more important. And just examine for yourself in that light how that feels when that goal is so important. Just notice how you feel. And you might notice, like in your feeling center here, in your stomach or chest, a sort of clenching or clutching feeling. It's a lacking feeling. See, when that goal is so important to you, you're coming from a place of lack. And that's showing you that you're coming from the wrong position, that you're coming from negativity. And also, the mind is a creative instrument that deals in pictures. And you're holding a mind lack. That goal is something that's out there. That is, I don't know if I can achieve it. So examine, again, how you feel. And what's going on in your mind. It's a lot of not having. All right? Now, just make a simple decision. And you don't have to be perfect about it. Of course, this goal is something that's important. But just make a simple decision now. I want imperturbability more. I want to love myself as I am right now, even in this situation. That's what I choose. To be loving, to be positive. Right? And notice that difference. Notice, like, you could feel in your stomach or chest, not so much clutching, or more of an openness and easiness there. Right? And that's a decision now where you are taking your power back over your mind. Because it's just your mind and ego that's telling you that that situation, I gotta have it, it's so important. And it's your mind that's dragging you across the rocks with that. But when you decide peace is more important, love is more important, then you're taking your power back from your mind. You're saying, I'm in command of my happiness. I decide to be happy right now. Because let's go back to the other scenario, when you're listening to your mind, and that goal is more important. What are you telling yourself? See, you're telling yourself that you cannot be happy until that goal happens. Until that financial situation turns around. Until that health situation turns around. Until that happens. Some situation external to me that I am waiting for, that's hopefully going to happen sometime in the future. In the meantime, I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. Until hopefully that thing turns around and grants me some happiness. That's what you're telling yourself. And what you're doing is you're giving your power away to your mind. You're letting your mind just whip you around. Now it's time to take your power back. So, right now, can you see that you don't like the current situation? Right? Because if you need that goal to happen, if you can't be happy until that happens, then you're disapproving of this now moment. And who's doing that? You're doing that, right? And this shows you that you are in charge, not your mind. You are. It's your decision. You decide to beat yourself up or you decide to love yourself. Now, which do you prefer? Now, could you let go of disapproving of the situation a little bit? Because how does it help you to disapprove of it? Chances are you've been disapproving of the situation for a long time. Hasn't changed it. All it's done is make you feel miserable, right? So could you let go disapproving of it? And could you let go disapproving of it a little bit more? And could you let go disapproving of it a little bit more? And it's just a decision. Your decision, yes or no. And could you let go disapproving of it a little bit more? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And even more. And could you let go disapproving of yourself? Can you see you've been beating yourself up? How does that help you? And who's doing it? You are, right? And if it's not helping you, now's the time to make a smart decision. Could you let go disapproving of yourself? And could you let go disapproving of yourself even more? And even more. 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 And how does that feel? Now, since it's up to you, your happiness is up to you. It's not up to your body. It's not up to your finances. It's not up to anything that's going on in the world. It's your decision. It's always your decision to be happy or miserable. Now, I'm assuming your decision is to be happy. So right now, could you give yourself some love and approval? And it's just a decision. I love myself. For no reason. Not like some ego thing. Just, I love myself. That's it. Now, could you give yourself some more approval? And could you give yourself some more approval? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And could you give yourself even more approval? And even more. And even more. And even more. And could you give yourself even more approval? And even more. Now, take a look at that situation. Whatever it is that you have been wanting to change. Now, see if you've been disapproving of that situation. Like, if it's financial, every time you look at your bank statement, or if you look at, bills coming in on the mail, you're like, right? See, that's you disapproving of it. Like wanting to run away, wanting to hide. Hating yourself. Oh, why am I in this position? And blaming the world, blaming the economy, blaming the government, blaming the 1%ers. And it's you who's doing that, who's being negative. Now, how are you going to accomplish positive by being negative? And who's doing that? You are. So could you let go disapproving of the situation? You got nothing to lose. It already is what it is. Wanting to change it isn't going to change it. Could you let go disapproving of it? And could you let go disapproving of it some more? And could you let go disapproving of it some more? And even more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? See, do you feel less bothered? And that's powerful. So you're not letting the situation, the circumstances push you around. You are rising up. You are now being the boss over your mind and ego, over your happiness. And since you're the boss, can you make a smart decision now to love yourself and love the situation? Could you give the situation some approval? Just because. Just because positive doesn't hurt anything. Could you give it some more approval? And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with it or accept it. Oh, that's my fate in life. No, just love it. That's it. Just love it. And could you give it some more love and approval? And some more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And notice how you feel now. How do you feel? Now, do you just feel a little bit lighter? That's the real question here. Notice you feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more positive? Guess what that is? That's a feeling of imperturbability. That light feeling. It's a feeling of your own beingness. The positivity that's inside of you, that's covered up by all the negativity. That's covered up by the ego. And notice how nice and light that feels. That's the imperturbability that we're choosing to have. What's wrong with that? Now, doesn't that make the decision easier now to choose imperturbability more than that goal? I mean, because after all, why do you want that goal? Like, why do you want the financial freedom or the better health? So that you can have peace of mind, right? Because as long as that situation is bigger than you, you feel like, oh, I got to work that out. And your mind is constantly trying to, figure it out, resolve it. But once it's resolved, then there's nothing to think about. You have peace of mind. And you feel your inner happiness because there's no worries, nothing. But we think that the situation puts us in that position. No, it's us. It's our decision to decide to be imperturbable now. You see? Nice and easy, isn't it? So look, play with this. If you have any comments or considerations about this, leave me a note in the comments below. You can drop any questions down there. I'll be happy to answer them. Or let me know what you discover about your decision to be imperturbable. What difference does that make in your perspective in your life and also the results that show up? Share your experiences. It's really helpful for the community here. And if you really want to master this stuff and have a strong grip on imperturbability, join me for the new Conscious Creation Master Course starting this January. It's going to show you how to get bigger than your mind and ego and stay bigger than it. It's going to show you how to be at peace and positive all the time, not be affected and pushed around by events. And it's also going to show you how to really get clear about what it is that you're creating in life and create exactly what you want. And if you're ready to step up and master your mind and master your world, then click below. I'll put a link to it in the description below, and I'll put a link to it up here. It's a real master course for you to realize just how powerful you are. So join me. And keep releasing, keep moving upwards, keep moving more and more towards imperturbability. Make that your focus, and you got it made. I'll see you on the next video.